Andy Excel back with my second podcast for the FIFA 2026 World Cup of the day. And in this piece, I'm going to look at which groups might provide the best third place teams. So when we wake up in the UK on Sunday morning, we will know the last 32 and which teams are heading home. We already know Haiti, Turkey, Tunisia, Jordan, and Panama are 3 and out. And Uzbekistan and Iraq are almost certain to join them at the phase 1 departure gates. So with only 16 teams going out at this stage, 7 of them listed above, and 18 teams already on 4 points or more, which may be enough to take you through, that leaves 23 teams battling to avoid being the other 9 that leave the tournament after phase 1. Although having done this, I'm not so certain 4 points guarantees qualification, so maybe the likes of Ghana, Egypt, and yes, even England cannot afford to lose their final games and expect to go through. Many of those will be scrambling for best third place spots, outside of the 4 that I've just mentioned, the teams that are playing catch up. So here I will look at which groups are likely to provide best third place qualification spots to the next round. And for me, the group most likely to do so, which is good news for England, is Group L. And it's a simple one, really. Croatia need to avoid defeat against Ghana to move from 3 points to 4 or more. And I've already said a Ghana defeat could even see them eliminated on 4 points and at best a 0 goal difference. So that's a big game, Croatia-Ghana. It matters for both teams. But I think if Croatia are strongly favoured to win that game, and if they do, then or if they don't avoid defeat, then there's a strong chance Group L, the best chance is that Group L does provide a third place team. Next group that I think will provide a third place is Group B. It's a simple one really. Bosnia and Herzegovina and Qatar both go into their final game against each other on a single point. So a win for either takes them to 4 points and possible qualification. Group F, if it's Bosnia, for instance, they might need to win by more than one, given that I'm not sure 4 points makes it, but there's a strong chance Group B provides a third place qualifier. Similar with Group F, this is similar to Group C, where instead of Scotland, Sweden need to get something from their game with Japan or possibly lose by 1 goal and go through with 3 points and a negative goal difference. But as I said, that might not be enough. So actually, Sweden might need to do more than that. But they're not up against as tough an opposition as the Scots, even though the Japanese are being underrated, in my opinion. Group H, I think that may well provide a third place team as well. The 2 teams currently 3rd and 4th in this group play each other, so a win for either Cape Verde or Saudi Arabia would probably be enough to progress. It certainly would be for Cape Verde. Indeed, a draw may be enough for Cape Verde if 3 points and 0 goal difference is enough, but that's questionable. Uruguay need at least a draw against Spain to have a chance of going through as the 3rd place team or even 2nd. There is even a chance that a Cape Verde draw would be enough for 2nd place if Spain beat Uruguay. So with so many ways this could happen, there's a good chance this group takes one of the 3rd place qualification places. In fact, it may be easier to look at how few ways it cannot happen, which would pretty much only be a Spain win and a draw in the other game, resulting in Cape Verde not making it with 3 points and a 0 goal difference. Or the more likely scenario of a Spain and Saudi Arabia double, seeing them finish on 7 and 4 points, with Uruguay and Cape Verde then both going out on 2 points apiece. Group I is another team more likely to provide a third place qualifier than not. Much simpler this one. Well, it's probably about a 50-50 that this does, to be honest. Senegal and Iraq have 0 points and meet each other in their final group game. If we accept that a -1 goal difference and 3 points is the very least required, that means Senegal need to win this by 2 goals or more, probably more, and Iraq need a highly improbable win by 5 goals or more, which just isn't going to happen. So really, this is all about Senegal getting a big win and hoping that is enough. Group G is another one probably in the balance for providing a third place qualifier. It's a tricky one with 3 teams behind Egypt all having a chance of finishing 3rd in this group. Let's look at Belgium first. A win against New Zealand and they are in the next round, but probably as the runners-up or even winners of this group. It is a draw that could see them finish 3rd, and a 3rd consecutive draw would obviously give them a 0 goal difference, which could be enough for them to progress. Right, then on to Iran, who have also drawn their first 2 games, so the same scenarios applied to them against Egypt as Belgium against New Zealand. But the Iranians may have more chance of getting a draw, so that might take them through. New Zealand basically can only finish third with a win over Belgium and an Iranian win over Egypt. But if they won and the Iranians do not, they could even finish second in the group. In that case, an Iranian draw could see them finish on nil point and nil goal difference and maybe progress. So all that amounts to a decent, a 50, a fair chance that this group provides a third place team. Now we're getting into the groups that are less likely to, and that starts with Group J. Austria and Algeria are both on 3 points. So the only way this group can take one of the best third place spots really is if the two draw their game against each other in the last round of group games. But a loss by 1 goal still gives Austria a small chance of going through on 3 points with a -1 goal difference. By the way, the runner-up of this group probably face Spain in the round of 32, which will be Austria with a draw or Algeria if they win this one. So Algeria may well be delighted with a draw to avoid Spain and take their chances on who they get as a best placed third team. And this will be the last group to finish. So both teams will know what is required before they kick off, which is an advantage they'll have. Group K, well, this is dead simple. Only one way that a third place team can progress, and that's if DR Congo beat Uzbekistan. So if that happens, they've got a chance of taking a third place spot. Group D, this is all about Paraguay versus Australia. With both teams currently on 3 points, they could play out a draw and hope both go through. Australia, like Scotland, may still have a slim chance of if they lost by a single goal, but Paraguay have a worse goal difference than the Aussies, so have to get at least a draw, maybe even more. Group A, there are a couple of ways 3 teams can finish on 4 points or more in this group. If the Czechs beat Mexico and South Korea avoid defeat against South Africa, or if both the Czechs and South Africans pull off surprise wins. This is a small chance. There is a small chance also that if South Korea lost and the Czechs lost, then the Koreans may just sneak in on 3 points. Bad news for Scotland is that Group C is one of the teams least likely, in my opinion, to provide a third place qualifier. And it's all about Scotland. They sit on 3 points ahead of the meeting with Brazil, so need a draw or better, or maybe even a 1 goal loss to progress. So, as indicated above, they might be struggling to do so. But this is a nation who loves to defy the odds, so maybe they can pull it off. Finally, Group E is the group I see least likely to provide a third place qualifier. So identical setup really to Group A. In this case, either Ecuador need to beat Germany or Curacao need to beat the Ivory Coast, or both win, or Ivory Coast lose by a goal to Curacao and Ecuador fail to beat the Germans. Then the Ivorians squeak in on 3 points at a -1 goal difference. Hugely complicated maths. I know most people won't be interested in that, but they're the scenarios. But at the end of the day, I think Group E is the least likely to provide a third place qualifier. And as I say, when I went through this, I went into it thinking 4 points is enough to qualify for sure. I've come out of it thinking I'm not so sure 4 points will be enough, but let's see how it pans out. We're all in new territory regarding this format. But as it stands at the moment, I think you may well need 4 points, and even that might not be enough. So that's it for me for now. My final podcast that will come back later is my normal daily one where I'll have a look back at day 13's actions and forward to day 14 where we see the first 3 groups finish, groups A, B and C. So we'll know more about things in terms of third place qualifiers after today's games. So that's it for me for now. Back with my daily piece later. See you soon.